We are. Will you please join me in stand, say the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning, Mr. Chair.
Good morning, everyone, and everyone welcome. Today is February 10th, and this is the meeting of the Morrison County Board of Commissioners. Gentlemen, we have an agenda before us. Is there any additions or deletions? We have none. Wishes of the board.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
We have a motion by Commissioner Moran and a second by Commissioner Casper to the agenda. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, we have an agenda. Gentlemen, next on our agenda, I look to our administrator, Mr. LeBlanc.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This morning, as part of our board meeting, we are going to do one of our activities we do once a quarter, and that's to recognize our Award of Excellence recipients. And thank you all for being here, and thank you, Mr. Chair, for the opportunity. Our Award of Excellence program is designed to recognize our employees from across this organization. We've got 11 departments and 300 employees within Morrison County. And it's an opportunity to take time to recognize one of those employees. So our program, how it works, for those that haven't heard it before, a leader within the organization typically submits a nomination for a quarterly recipient, and those nominations are received and a selection committee is established. Typically that selection committee is made up of the county board chair along with the vice and 2 department heads that don't have somebody being considered for the award. So we did that last month and held a selection committee to then select the 4th quarter recipient. And then following that, that same committee then considered the annual Award of Excellence. So to receive the annual Award of Excellence, you must have been a quarter winner, and then you'd be considered against the other 3 quarter winners to then be identified and recognized as the Morrison County Annual Award of Excellence recipient. So for the quarterly recipients, what they are presented with is a little trophy of sorts, which is a wooden block of the historical courthouse, and on the back of it, it's engraved that they are the 4th quarter award recipient. They also receive a coveted parking space right next to the historic courthouse, along with a certificate and a letter for the individual. So for 4th quarter, we have such a great staff, and we do amazing things here every day, so it makes that very difficult to make a selection of who we should pull out and recognize on their own. Around here, our facility and our grounds, it is very common to have individuals stop by or send a letter or an email saying, just not too long ago, this person said, I've been to most or so many courthouses and government centers in the state of Minnesota, and none look as good as Morrison County. Very routine. You add on there the conditions of the weather with the salt and snow, and it makes that job that much harder as people track in and get the place in disarray. But every morning, folks show up here, and the building and all that we have is in immaculate shape. Adding on to that, it's more than just the government center. We have the historic courthouse. We also have the public works building that we keep in good shape. And this 4th quarter recipient, that is her responsibility. So Kelly, come on up here. So Kelly thought she was coming in here to rearrange things, I think.
Yes, I do. That's right.
Yes, he was. And very difficult because Kelly also works typically evenings. And part of her write-up and recognition is about those that come across her in the after hours. And as you are, we have meetings here after hours. We have other things that occur. She runs into some folks that maybe shouldn't be in our buildings after hours. But she is one of our employees that's here when no one else is. And we are so appreciative of what you do and how you take care of this place and make it so welcoming when we come back. So Kelly, for all of that and more, thank you very much. And we'd like to recognize you as our fourth quarter Award of Excellence recipient. And this certificate is awarded Kelly Courier in recognition of your contributions assisting Morrison County in providing cost-effective, high-quality services in a friendly, respectful manner. Thank you for all that you do and for making Morrison County a place that our residents are proud to call home.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Mr. Chair. Oh, no, you're not going anywhere.
Thank you, Mr. LeBlanc, and I'd like to give the opportunity to our board members to comment now. Commissioner Casper.
Yeah, Kelly, congratulations. Do you know, oftentimes we as people need someone looking over our shoulder to see if we're doing a good job, but you're a person that can come here at night and you do a great job at what you do, and thank you for serving with a smile on your face, and thank you that you're doing what you need to do fully when no one's watching. God bless you.
Kelly, we don't see, myself, don't see you down here too often, other than the evenings, and when you do, again, like Matt said, you're a reflection of what the courthouse is, okay? And the first impression is so important when you meet someone or you come into a building, and that you're part of. And when I do see you occasionally, smiling, you know, all those things, and again, that first impression, you know, I just remembered your name now, but like, how you doing? I never say, oh, how you doing, Kelly, you know, but now, yeah, you are just an asset to the courthouse, so we hope you put in many more years.
Yep, thanks for all you do, and I think you represent the whole maintenance crew. I think it takes a team, and you guys do a great job. Yep, every room, every floor, so thank you.
Yeah, Kelly, thank you for everything you do. Everybody said pretty much what I wanted to say, but yeah, you got a great team. I know I've known John for many years, and he does a great job, and he's reflected that upon you. And not only when I see you here, when I see you out on the street, you're always smiling, you're always happy, and whether or not that's just because it's me or not, I don't know. I like it.
You bring that out of people.
Thank you so much for everything you do. Appreciate it.
And Kelly, I have to say that you're a tremendous example for all of us here at Morrison County, and I look at you as a leader. I look at you as a leader in the county and in our family, because the number one attribute of leaders is humility. And you humble yourself to serve not only all of us who are here within the building, but the public as well. And we hear from them also on this. So for me personally, it's an honor that my path gets to cross with yours here, to remind us of that we all need to be humble and be joyful in our service, and you are that tremendous example of that. So thank you so much for that.
Would you like to say anything?
It's very easy for me, so it makes it that much better. So I'm really happy to be a part of Morrison County, and yeah, it's my home, I feel. So thank you.
All right, thanks, Kelly. Appreciate it. And we're going to get a photo. Head on up there.
Want to get John up here too?
In the middle.
Right in the middle, right in those two desks come together. There you go, Kelly. That's right.
Tabitha, am I taller than Kelly?
No.
No? All right.
Thank you very
You want to wait here?
Thank you, Kelly.
Congrats again. Thank you. One more hand for Kelly, please. All right, well, that's just one of our quarter winners. The other three are just as impressive, which made it very difficult this year to recognize our annual recipient. And so without further ado, Laura, come on up here. Tricked you. When did you know?
When you gave Kelly the award, I said,
Come on over here. So let's just tell that story for a second. So last week, last month, the committee selected Laura as our annual award recipient. And last week, I met with a couple of department heads and said, how are we going to get her? And so one of them's there, and the other one, unfortunately, is not here. Brian, our county attorney, is out of country, so otherwise he'd be here today. But part of that was, hey, how about we tell Laura that Darren's going to get recognized next week? So Laura took that little tidbit, and Darren sent out, and I know about all this, and Darren sent out a note to everybody saying, okay, you're going to hear I'm getting an award, but don't believe it, just go with it.
but he didn't know the special guest I was inviting for
Oh,
him.
he didn't, huh?
Oh, I got stuffed back in the elevator.
So they're all here.
And my response was, really, Amy? Well, I got it first.
Yeah. So she sends out her notes, and you all need to be here. This is going to be so good for Darren. And Laura was a recipient, and we know her dad was here last time too, so we know how important it is. And thank you for being here. It's really special. All the way to this morning when I came in, a little bit earlier, and I see this gal here with a water bottle, and I'm just doing my scouting, I'm doing my setting things up, and she said, I got to make sure Darren and Amy sit in the second row, because then they won't see us coming off the elevator. So I apologize to the county for any reduction in service that she's had for the last month or week.
And
But
the friend that I yelled at.
and the
she
friend
was out
that
there.
and the friend that almost gave it away to Darren this morning. Yeah, but Laura Welly.
That's awesome.
What an amazing employee. What an amazing assistant county attorney. She's a fierce competitor, a fighter. She goes in every time to represent those that need representation and hold those accountable that need to be held accountable. She takes it seriously. She is one that you would think after this much time you could accept when things don't go your way. Not for Laura. And she is as tenacious today as she was the day she started, clawing and scratching. Most recently being a finalist to be a circuit judge in a neighboring region, which I'm selfishly grateful that we were able to hang on to her here. But just to tell you the type of caliber she is, she made it to the top 3. Amazing. Work outside this building. Just recently came off Hands of Hope, only because she had to, because she served her term limit. So she had to step aside. Otherwise, she wouldn't, of an organization that takes care of those that are in a real bad way. And then Bio Girls, another one, reaching to the youth of the area and grabbing those young ladies and lifting them up and giving them an example to follow. So for all those reasons and more, Laura, congratulations. And I'd like to present to you the certificate. This certificate is awarded to Laura Welly in recognition of your contributions assisting Morrison County in providing cost-effective, high-quality services in a friendly, respectful manner. Thank you for all that you do to make Morrison County a place our residents are proud to call home. Awarded this day, it is the annual Award of Excellence. Congratulations. Tabitha's there. We'll get a picture real quick. Mr. Chair.
We're still gonna get you up here for a picture too, so don't run off. But Laura, this is as it's pretty obvious. This is the most fun this board gets to have on a quarterly basis, and we're ecstatic and we're thrilled for the opportunity to be able to honor you as you honor Morrison County with your presence, and not only within your work here, but we also recognize the impact that you have on people outside of the building, outside of the organization here. That means a lot to a lot of us, and I'm sure to all the people of the Morrison County family. But I think it means a lot to our community too. The outreach and willingness to be a counselor and a guider of youth and of adults out there. It speaks to your character, your integrity, and I couldn't be more proud to have you be a part of the Morrison County family. Gentlemen? Commissioner Casper.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Laura, thank you for all you do. You're an amazing person. I'm glad you didn't get that district job. Selfishly, I'm glad you're still with us. And you know, one thing we talked about, it wasn't only, as Greg had mentioned as well, it wasn't only your work ethic at work, but your work outside of your job. You're touching a lot of people's lives, and that is greatly appreciated. In a world that seems to be heading toward darkness, you are a light to us, and we thank you. God bless your efforts, you bet. Bye-bye.
Mayor,
Commissioner Winter.
I remember they have to say, but again, it was brought up numerous times about family. Not only you have family out there, you also, represent these organizations, but you're part of this family, and that's what makes myself so proud that, hey, we have Laura Welly here as one of our employees, so thank you.
Yep. Congratulations, Laura. I don't get upstairs very much, so I think that's a good thing. You guys got it under control up there, so thanks for all your hard work, and yeah, good guidance up there and taking care of business, so thanks.
Commissioner Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I love the story on how they got you here today. That was awesome. Good job, Darren. I don't want to repeat everything they said, but I just keep up the good fight. We appreciate everything you do, and above all, keep smiling. In the words of Jeff Jelinski.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Talk again? Well, the last time I was here, I forgot to thank a very important person, Darren. Hey! My dad's supposed to be in Montana. Like, long ways away. Without Darren's support, I would never be able to do the hard, late hours that I do, and I would never be able to be in Bio Girls. I'm also a dandelion. I would never be able to go to any of that stuff without Darren. Also want to thank my parents. My mom is the queen of volunteering. She's been retired, I don't know how many years, but she has about 3 side jobs. So thanks to her and my dad for instilling really hard work ethic into me. Also thanks, I got Jennifer here and Todd and Christina. Without them, I wouldn't be able to do my job. Christina keeps me sane most days. And I also lean on Lacey and Bergie back there. They know what it takes to be a prosecutor. They see the bad stuff that we see, and I wouldn't be able to, I have them to go to as well. Big thanks to Matt. This is my 3rd county that I've been in, and I've never felt as appreciated as I do here. The other counties, the first one didn't have an Awards of Excellence. I was in Crow Wing for a short time. They had one, but nobody treated me like I get treated here. I felt like I was just a minion, and here I feel like I'm family, and I have Matt always looking out for me. Second person after my father-in-law Kenny to text me on my birthday. So pretty special. So thank you. It's an honor to work here. It's an honor to work with you all. You two are in trouble. You really did trick me. I had no idea. So I started looking at Lacey when he was talking about Kelly, and I said, what's going on? So thank you. Appreciate it.
One more hand. Let's go get a picture. Yeah, and then after this photo, if the family members can please join Laura, that would be great. So you can start coming on up, family. Darren, you're part of the family.
Got it.
I mean, literally, there's 2 people. I said, and I was just
It's hard to get the family. How do we get the family? Darren, round them up.
I will say though.
Oh, for a public hearing? I think it's inside the.
You got some chocolates, I guess.
So we'll just call.
How you doing?
For you. Isn't it in there? On part, yeah.
I know that.
Did you know?
Found out last night.
That's why you're staying till Tuesday. And that's why you're folded.
Thank you so much.
This guy, you should get a, you should get. Yeah, how are you?
Actually, that looks really good. Oh, I got gum. There you go.
Laura, if you want to lay up front here.
Smile.
Great,
Yeah.
thank you.
Congratulations, Laura. Thanks for coming. Appreciate it. Thanks for being here.
Lie upon lie upon lie.
Congrats. Thank you so much for coming. Appreciate you.
Can't believe they pulled that off.
That's good. Thanks for making it, sir. Thanks for being here. Thank you. Hi, nice to see you again. Good job, buddy. Appreciate you.
Thank you, Matt. They're gonna giggle all day long.
And Darren's on the couch.
No, he's in the doghouse.
Yeah. Yeah. No, over
No.
next to the wall there.
See you, Nathan. Take care.
What's the guy's name?
See you.
I'm working with him on a project.
You know him. He's on the soil and water retired.
See you.
Have a great day, guys.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, with all that fun, we still have to do work.
We're still gonna have fun doing this.
So we'll still have fun. So, gentlemen, we have the consent agenda to deal with here. Is there anyone who wants to remove anything for further look, further discussion?
I'll make a motion to approve, Mr. Chair.
We have a motion by Commissioner Lemire and a second by, was it Commissioner Wincher, to approve the consent agenda. Discussion. Gentlemen, this is a roll call. Commissioner Casper.
Aye.
Commissioner Moran.
Aye.
Commissioner Lemire. Commissioner Wincher. The chair votes aye. All those voting in the affirmative, motion prevails. The consent agenda is passed. Gentlemen, we go to Land Services. Good morning, Amy. Thank you for being here this morning.
Morning, gentlemen.
Good morning, Amy.
Okay, I've got a couple of items for you today. The first one is to continue our discussion on renewable energy. And I put together kind of a timeline just to go over kind of where we're at, how we got here, and why we're discussing what we are at this moment. So I'll give Matt a chance to get that up here. There we go. Okay, so I thought it was important to chat about where we are in our renewable energy timeline here and just how, what has led up to our discussion today. So I'm gonna go way back to February of 2007, because that is the first time our ordinance mentioned any renewable energy at all. And that showed up, it was a listed use. The wind energy and solar systems were listed use in the shoreland use chart. And the solar systems were lumped with satellite dishes, and they were permitted, and the wind energy was prohibited. So that's the first time that we see really any mention of renewable energy in the ordinance. Then in July of 2008, then the wind energy conversion system regulations that we have now were adopted into the ordinance. So the wind energy regulations that we have that we're operating on now are from 2008. In March of 2014, that's when solar energy system regulations came on the scene, and those were adopted into ordinance, and that included rooftop, ground mount, community solar, and solar farms. And that is the existing standards that we have today. Those are from 2014. In February of 2024, so we had a 10-year span there where we weren't looking at renewable energy and didn't have a lot of activity. In February 2024, the county was approached with a biodigester project, which was not allowed per current ordinance standards. And so the county board at that time tasked me with coming up with some, to study biodigesters. And at that time, really to look at the entire renewable energy section of our ordinance. So February 2024 is when that conversation started about looking at what we allow for renewable energy. Then in June of 2024, the MCPESA Executive Board, which is the Minnesota Association of Planning and Zoning Administrators, formed a renewable energy work group to study renewable energy standards, and they also engaged a Great Plains Institute at that time. So at that point, the renewable energy discussion and ordinance updates was on a larger scale. It was really more of a statewide discussion amongst planning and zoning administrators. And that work is continuing with MCPESA and Great Plains Institute. And then in April of 2025, we did adopt manure biofuel plant standards. So that was very narrow. It's only for manure biofuel plants. And so then the remaining work regarding other renewable energy continues to move forward. So that's our timeline, and I just wanted to lay that out because I don't know that we had ever really discussed kind of how long we've had standards and what we've done in the past for looking at those. Any questions on that before I move forward?
Gentlemen, anything? Commissioner Lemire.
I just want to add something to this.
Yes.
We'd be a lot farther along if the state went to give us that cannabis
Oh, gosh,
legislation
yes.
for you
Yeah,
to be
we had-
spending
yes,
so much time with.
that-
We would have been behind us by now.
Agreed,
Yeah.
agreed. Yes,
Just wanted
we
everybody
had to
remember
shift
that,
our,
that She had to shift.
yeah, we
what
had
she
to
was
shift our
doing.
attention to something else, yes. Okay, so then I wanted to give you an idea of what our right and left limits are for renewable energy, because energy projects come in all sorts of sizes, and we don't necessarily have jurisdiction over all of them. So when we're looking at our renewable energy standards and the ordinance and what we regulate and what we oversee, for wind, we're looking at projects that are under 5 megawatts. And we can go up to 25 megawatts if we notify the Public Utilities Commission that we wish to do so. We have not done that, so we're at that 5 megawatt standard. For solar, anything under 50 megawatts would be under county jurisdiction. Anything over would be under the PUC. Energy storage, anything under 10 megawatts would be what the county would regulate. And for power plants under 50 megawatts, and that would be for natural gas, nuclear, and coal. So just to give you an idea of when we're talking about renewable energy standards, we're talking about projects of this size, because anything beyond that is under Public Utilities Commission regulation, and the county has a different role. We are not the permitting authority, but we certainly have the opportunity to comment and make the PUC aware of what our local standards are. And generally, they will incorporate those into the permits. Any questions on that part?
Mr. Chair, if I may.
Commissioner Wincher.
Again, I know like on wind, there's a height restriction. If somebody
Yes.
goes, we have that. Again, we don't need to go into that one. The solar, there's acreage too involved with that. So like, could you kind of explain like what again, my interpretation that anything over 100 megawatts was under federal jurisdiction, not 50, but again, what's the acreage involved with if I would want to do a 50 megawatt? Is that, can I put it on a half an acre, or does it take 10 acres, 20 acres of farmland? Do you have?
Good question. So when we're looking at, and I'm trying to remember what the rule of thumb is for per megawatt, but let me do a little quick math for
Sure,
you,
that's
please. Okay. So if we go 50, so up to 50 megawatts, we're looking at about 500 acres? Is that right? Let's see.
Mr. Chair? Mr. Chair?
Mr. Chair.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Just,
Mr. LeBlanc, excuse me, I'm
And
sorry.
Amy, if it's all right, I just
Yes,
did,
please.
I did a Google search, and then as deep as Google goes, a 50 megawatt solar farm typically requires between 200 and 350 acres.
Okay,
So
thank
it
you.
probably depends on what's being put in place and the size of the panels and all those things, but that's what the Google spits out.
Thank you.
And again, I kind of figure it was more than, I just wanted the people out here in
No,
TV
understood.
land to realize, hey, this is a lot of acreage that could be taken up.
Yes. Any other questions?
Gentlemen?
Yes, I do.
Commissioner Lemire.
As far as currently what's in our ordinance, we have wind and solar. We don't have energy storage in there, do we?
No, we do not.
And,
That was one of the directives that you had given me, was to look at energy storage.
okay, as long, and as well as, would it be necessary to put the power plants one in there too?
The only thing is I know Commissioner Blaine had talked about wanting to look at nuclear.
Okay.
And so then that would be something we would look at.
Okay, thank you for that. Thank you,
Yes.
Mr. Chair.
All right. So based on our conversations over the years, because we've been chatting about this since February of 2024, I've kind of boiled down what the conversation has been around as far as what needs to be addressed in our ordinance. And what's been highlighted in those conversations is that we do have conflicting goals and objectives within the comprehensive plan for agricultural areas, and also conflicting ideas of what is considered an ag practice. So that's one item. Also, biodigesters, looking at that broader scope, because the feedstock for biodigesters can be way more than manure. And so looking at broadening that, those regulations that we have right now. Energy storage is another one that we know has come on the scene, but we do not have any standards in our ordinance regarding that, and oftentimes we'll see those in conjunction with a solar project. Also, the alignment of solar and wind regulations with current industry practices. I know over the years when I've been chatting with proposers, they'll say, well, this part of your ordinance really doesn't apply anymore, or this isn't reflective, what do you want me to do with this? And so that's highlighted the need to, hey, we probably need to look at that and have that reflect the industry. The decommissioning framework within our ordinance is very broad and not very prescriptive, and that has been a pinch point with considering projects in the decommissioning plan and what is adequate for decommissioning. And then also the method of financial assurance is very broad and open within the ordinance, which is something the board has struggled with in the past. And then also just the policy on use and conversion and occupation of productive ag land. That generally, anytime there's a project that has been discussed, that is a big topic. And so those are the items that really what we've boiled down that we would be looking to address in an ordinance amendment, and we are trying to inform ourselves and also every member of MCPESA as far as what is the industry doing and what do we need to do to be reflective of that in the ordinances. And so that has been the scope of work on MCPESA's front as well. Any questions on that?
Commissioner Lemire.
Just maybe a timeline on that McPizza.
Yes.
Do we know?
Yes, so I did just touch base with Great Plains Institute, and they are very close to releasing their solar model ordinance, their updated solar model ordinance, and then they're going to be shifting to the wind. So that is in progress, and then they also have developed a kind of I guess a fact sheet or some just factual information regarding energy storage for counties to use as far as when we're dealing with a project like that for the first time, to educate the board. So yes, they're diligently working on that.
Great.
And that work is coming out. Yes.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, so options. Well, we could do nothing. We could just stick with what we've got. Given the issues that the board has brought to me to say, hey, we really would like to dig into some of these things. I don't know if that's a viable option, but it's certainly on the table. The second one, what is really reconciling the conflict between our comprehensive plan and the ordinance and or the desire of the board. And so one option would be to update the comprehensive plan and soften the prioritization of traditional agricultural practices in the ag zoning district, because we take a pretty strong stance on that. And then with that, review and update the standards to address issues and include additional renewable energy technologies. So then that's where we would be adding some of those technologies if we are softening what the productive ag land is best used for, what that policy would be. And then the third option would be to update the comprehensive plan to strengthen the prioritization of traditional agricultural practices in the ag zoning district. And then update the land use control ordinance to align with those updated goals and objectives. So essentially what your comp plan is your overall policy. Your ordinance is the vehicle to get there, to realize those goals and objectives. So those, at least for me, is what I see is before you as far as options. And then depending on what your option, choosing, I'm assuming it's going to be either number 2 or number 3. The method then to accomplish that would be to order a review not only of the ordinance but of the comprehensive plan to determine if policy needs to be updated, and order the continued study of renewable energy. And then with that, order the study for need, capacity, technologies, updates, and determine the necessary ordinance updates that would align with the updated comprehensive plan policy. And this can be done with or without an order of the development of an interim ordinance, which is also called a moratorium. So the moratorium would stand in place of the existing renewable energy standards and ordinance while the above work is in progress. So if you were to say, hey, we want to hit the pause button and we want to evaluate everything before we consider any applications, then we would also be developing that interim ordinance. The other option would be to order the study of all of this without the moratorium, but it would be that directive to me. So that's where we're at. I just wanted to give you that history and that background. And so it sets the table now for our discussion as far as I think where we're at is for you to give me some direction as far as where would you like me to spend my time? What would you like me to produce for you? So that's what I've got, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Amy. Gentlemen, thoughts? Commissioner Lemire.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So, like, I know we have a wind field being proposed, I think, in Commissioner Wincher's district at this time. And then we have,
I'm very vaguely aware of it. It is, what
PUC.
my knowledge is it's large enough where it would be under the Public Utilities Commission, and so there's been little to no engagement with the county.
and then we also have a permit in place for solar.
We have a
field.
pending application. It's being reviewed for completeness at the moment.
So, Mr. Chair, may I continue?
Yes, Commissioner Lemire.
So is it possible to put a moratorium so we can make sure we have our ducks in a row and have this right for our county and our constituents? And then allow that one that's already in the mix to keep going on their proposed plan?
You do have the option, and that would be the directive to me as far as how to craft that language. So you can, that interim ordinance can apply to pending applications or not. So that is a choice of the board.
Because I personally think it would be better to put a moratorium on and allow those that are already in the process of moving forward, and not keep it open, because I think that would be messy, keep it open while we're
Yes.
rewriting our ordinances and our comp plan. I personally think that, I'm not speaking for you gentlemen. And I would also, my opinion is to update the comprehensive plan to prioritize traditional agriculture on ag lands. That's my 2 cents on that too.
Okay.
I just don't like how our comp plan is written at this time and how it is also included into our land use control ordinance.
Okay, thank you.
That's my personal opinion. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
You're welcome. Gentlemen, for the, Commissioner Casper.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So Amy, does it seem reasonable that it's wind and solar? Say there is a moratorium, as Commissioner Lemire is saying. Moratorium's put in place. Is it possible to just review wind and solar because that's where we're getting most of the pressure right now? Get that in place first?
That would be completely up to the board and what you want me to do. So right now, the only uses that are allowed in ordinance from a renewable energy standpoint would be a manure biodigester with very narrow guardrails, solar and wind. We currently do not allow energy storage. So that is a use that's not allowed at this moment anyway, and we would not entertain any applications for that. So that, the interim ordinance essentially is gonna outline what the new standard is going to be for those for a period of time. And then essentially what that does is allows the county to do the thoughtful research and develop language that is reflective of what the policy of the county is. And then that gets, goes through that public hearing process just like anything else for adoption.
Very good.
For the comments, Commissioner Wincher.
With the moratorium or grandfathering something in, I just have a hard time if we were to allow somebody that doesn't even really have an application or hasn't been, come to the planning commission like that, if we would pass that and then we do a moratorium and then we're changing things on the one that's moving forward, and then not on the one that's in the application. I just think it would be difficult, me personally, to say, yeah, we have somebody here that has an application, let's move forward, let's let that one come through, but we really don't know what we're gonna change with the information that we could gather. It's a broad solar information, and there's so many, different, views of how it works, and that, I think it's, very difficult for me as to make a decision right now, because again, it's a changing, just like technology and all that, so what is it, what's the purpose of what's it for the farm ag, again, what's the definition, is solar power part of farm ag, or is it technology? I don't know, but I just think if we're gonna do a moratorium, anybody has it, that's my personal opinion, yeah, you're grandfathered in. Currently, if you have a solar farm here, but right now, if there is an application that may be pending or for whatever reason, I would say let's just not allow anybody, right now, what I'm thinking, if we move forward with a moratorium. Otherwise, I might just say, you know what, let's not do a moratorium, because we're already making exceptions to something, that's my opinion, if they do have an application. And then, if we were do a, study on this, we'd have an outside source come in and do that?
At the last planning session, we did talk about that a little bit, as far as, yes, you could have a consultant kind of lead us through that discussion and facilitate that, or not. That would be entirely up to the board as well.
Otherwise, we'd just direct you to say, hey, find out, I'm just use this in a sarcastic, this widget solar, what's, that's what we did, put that on your shoulders, that's kind of how it works. Okay, all right, I'm good for now, Mr. Chair.
Commissioner Casper.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So Amy, do you see surrounding counties that have what appears to be good language in place in their ordinances, that's something we could adopt? So it would not somehow fast track us, but help us with some good guidance?
There's a few counties that have recently updated their renewable energy standards, so I definitely will be looking at those. But I know, at least from a statewide standpoint, there was a lot of interest in looking at this because I think a lot of counties, it seemed, or that's what I heard, are in the same situation we are. They've had these standards in for a long time. They know what the pinch points are, what they struggle with. We've had surrounding counties posture for a moratorium before because they're acknowledging that they're not comfortable with their standards. So I'd say it's a little bit of everything. There's some counties that are in stages of update or that just have, some are waiting for this work from Great Plains Institute to be done, so, and so it's kind of all over the place, but I think there's a general acknowledgement that ordinances haven't kept up with some of these technologies that have come on the scene.
Moves fast.
It does. Faster than government, that's for sure.
Oh, wow, yeah, for sure. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Amy.
You're welcome. I look over to Commissioner Moran, and Ed, I don't mean to put you on the spot, but I want to make sure I give you the opportunity to speak.
I'm good.
Okay?
Thank you.
So,
Can I add something
Commissioner-
since Bobby brought it up?
yep, certainly,
Or
Commissioner Moran.
Commissioner Casper, sorry.
That's right.
I did look at some different counties' ordinances, and look how comprehensive theirs are. I mean, compared to ours, it's amazing. I mean, we're not doing this, we're doing this to protect our county. I look at it as that, so I did look at, multiple ordinances, and there's a lot of them that resemble ours, too. Very, very little information, especially in the decommissioning portion of the ordinance. It's so vague on some of them, and then there's some that are very detailed.
That's a good thing.
I just think we need to do this right. I know a lot of us appreciate personal property rights, so we're not looking at taking people's personal property rights away, but I personally think we need to get moving on this, because it's not gonna get slower, it's gonna get faster. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner Lemire. And so gentlemen, you know, I'm going to try and circle us back. We've had good dialogue here, I believe. But circle us back to Amy being in front of us and is here, you know, kind of requesting from us a scope of work. What she can do to help us address something that we've talked about in the past, that we're, at some point in time, we're going to have to look at you know, at our ordinances, and how we handle some of these things, including renewable energy. We're at that point now, and thank you, Commissioner Lemire, for reminding us all of why we're at this point now, and we can thank the legislature and the cannabis issue from derailing the discussion on this here for a period of time. So I think what we also need to understand is if we would put in place an interim use ordinance, we would have to hold a public hearing before we could vote on
Yes.
putting that into place. And so, gentlemen, I'm just saying these things to help us understand maybe a little bit of the series of events that would have to take place. If that is the desire of the board to push the pause button, I think it was said, on this till we have a greater amount of information, and or, you know, what, I guess, you know, we also have to look at, you know, what do we do with issues that may be in front of us right now, that are relative to this, too. But irregardless, changes to our ordinances require us to hold a public hearing and
Correct.
take public input before that can happen. Even an interim
Yes.
use ordinance or moratorium, if you want to use that word. And then I think it's also important to note too that a moratorium or interim use permit is not designed to last forever.
No.
This is, it would be, that action would be taken to allow us time for further discovery, further reveal, and then time to take action. So we're not, one thing we don't want to be doing is consistently opening and closing our ordinance book and making we need to get that, get these things in line, make sure they're balanced with our comprehensive plan, and make sure that we have the language in there that supports reciprocally what we're doing in the county, correct?
Correct.
So, gentlemen, we're here because we need to set that direction, or give that scope of work for Amy.
Do we need a motion on that, Mr. Chair? Or how do you want to proceed with that?
I believe it would be in order for us to take that action and have that recorded with a motion to set that direction
Mr. Chair,
to staff.
I would love to hear what our constituents have to say on this matter, so I would move forward with holding a public hearing to have, what did you call it, an interim or a moratorium?
Interim use ordinance,
Interim use ordinance?
but let me defer to the expert.
Yes.
You know what I want to say.
Mr. Chair, so we would hold the public hearing after an interim ordinance language has been developed. So just like any other ordinance update, I'm going to present you with some draft language, and then we go to the public hearing for that feedback. And then based on that, then it either comes to the board or it needs to go back to the planning commission for further study. So while what I'm hearing that there may be some interest in an interim ordinance, then I would be asking you for just some general overview of what you'd like that to cover.
If I may, Mr. Chair.
Commissioner
Again,
Winchell.
I understand the public here now. The question I thought, we were also, the moratorium, is that, but that's not part of the public hearing. If we're gonna ask them, we can put it on. So do we make that decision now? Or do we get more information from you to say this is why we should do it? If you could explain that.
Yes.
Amy?
Interim ordinance and moratorium are kind of used interchangeably, but how you affect a moratorium is by passing an interim ordinance. And any ordinance that we pass requires that public hearing. And so you can't just put on a moratorium. It would be, if you directed me to say, hey, we want to see moratorium language, or we want to see an interim ordinance language, and these are the things we want it to cover, then what I'd be working on is a draft, and then I'm sure that would be coming to at least one planning session. To do that, then we would go to public hearing, and then the county board would either adopt that interim ordinance or not. And so that's the process that we're in. It's just like any other ordinance update. But essentially what it does is stand in place of what we've got in the ordinance now for whatever you direct it to be.
Do you understand? Do you
No, I
understand,
don't
Commissioner?
understand. I wanna-
Okay, well, but we're gonna get to the point where we have full understanding. So,
And again,
so Amy,
The moratorium.
Yes.
Is, you said it's kind of with the ordinance, but it's not.
It is, it's the same, I mean, those words are used interchangeably. So when you pass an interim ordinance, you're essentially saying, hey, what we've got in our ordinance now, we're not using. We're gonna use this for a little bit. And it's going to apply to this, 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 and this. And so that effectively is the moratorium.
Okay, so it was brought up by Commissioner Merritt, if there is an applicant, again, I don't.
Yes.
I don't look at that until I see one. So that applications, if this all, if we have a flood of people coming here now in the next month, those we'd all have to consider, not under the old, possibly the new one, is that how it's gonna work?
Depending on how you write that interim ordinance, it can apply to just anything moving forward. It can apply to pending applications. So that's where that decision would be made by the board as far as what the scope of your interim ordinance is going
So
to
if somebody
be.
does bring an application, we can't say, no, we're looking at this interim, so we're not gonna make a decision until that, that's what I'm hearing?
Until an interim ordinance is in place, the ordinance that we have is effective. So that's where we're kind of in that middle where something's pending. We know maybe big changes are happening. And so then that's where you would be making that decision as far as, are we going to process anything under our original ordinance until this interim is in place? And then with your interim, you need to say,
I understand. the
Where you
interim,
want
if
it to
I may
apply.
just- I understand if we have interim there, it's, if we have
once
a
it's in
flood of
place,
applicants
we're in
coming
this,
here,
we're in this
now
gray
we're in
area.
this gray area.
Correct.
We may have to consider those applicants because we really don't have the interim in place yet. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. I mean, there's that consideration as far as how are we going to handle anything that's pending. The thing is it doesn't,
I don't mean to put you on the spot,
Yeah.
but that's a gray area.
but it is,
So
it's
we
the
can't-
gray area. It is something that I would ask that you tell me how you want to handle anything pending, while, with this language.
Because we could, again, I don't mean to get to, we could have maybe 2 or 3 more applications come in while we're in this gray area. Now, we have to decide, well, you know, I'm gonna sit back, Commissioner Wincher's gonna sit back, and I wanna see what I'm not gonna vote yes or no on this one. And I think that's where we may have a challenge to this ordinance, because this ordinance change could take 2, 3, you know, months at least, you know, with the public hearing in there. So
So yeah, it's a crossroads that the
Yeah,
board
it
is
is.
at. You're recognizing that you're not comfortable with the standards that
Right.
you have. So then the decision is do we want to process or consider any applications under what our ordinance says now? Or do we want to not entertain them? I
So
guess
that would
that's
be
the
something
question
that
before
our
you.
chair would want to address today. Do we want to?
It would give me direction as
Okay,
far as,
that's what
so
I'm
when
looking
I
for.
come up with a draft interim ordinance, then I'm gonna know whether to include that language or
Just
not.
because we vote, we consider them, doesn't mean that we're gonna pass them.
No, because you're gonna direct me to do whatever you want. I'm going to come up with a draft, you're gonna review it in a planning session. Then you're gonna tell me when you feel it's ready for public hearing. And then, of course, we're gonna have that public hearing and have that feedback and the recommendation from the planning commission. And then depending on what that is and what you wanna do with that feedback, then you can either direct it back to me for more revisions or go ahead and adopt it. So it's like any other normal ordinance amendment.
I yield back to you, Mr. Chair.
And Commissioner Wincher, maybe I'll try and simplify things a little bit here. I'm not always good at this, but I think we have, gentlemen, I think we kind of have two decisions to make here. In an effort to provide a scope of work for Ms. Kowalczyk, and that is, do we want to craft language to look at enacting an interim use ordinance or moratorium? That would be kind of question number one, and I believe question number two would be, do we want Amy and her staff to take action or consider action on pending or incoming applications? In the case, I mean, you gave an example, Commissioner Wincher, where all of a sudden we get flooded with a bunch of applications for something within renewable energy. Do we have them take action on that prior to us even looking at our changes to our ordinances? And so
then-
that would be, am I kind of framing that correctly for you?
And Mr. Chair, then the other part of that would be the comp plan, as far as whether or not you'd like me to initiate an update or review of the comp plan.
And so, gentlemen, I think, thank you for that, Amy. Number one is, that's the one thing that we have to acknowledge, is that what we don't want is to have a comprehensive plan that is not supported by our ordinances, or have ordinances in place that are in conflict with the comprehensive plan out there. And so, to me, that becomes almost automatic, but I think it's important that we state that also. So, with things being framed in that sense, Commissioner Casper, your thoughts?
Well, first of all, I say yes, we have to take a look, or have you take a look at that comprehensive plan. And meanwhile, the brakes have to be put on, because otherwise I think to bring people in before we have something in place, I think could get rather messy. To be able to get that ordinance framed, and then have that public hearing, and then solidify it, and then we can move forward. Does that make working sense?
It does.
Gentlemen, I'll go back to Commissioner Wincher's question about, do we need a motion, or do we need effective action on that? And I will ask you if there was someone who would like to make a motion
If I may,
to move
did not
forward.
Commissioner Mayor make some type of motion?
Do we have a motion recognized?
Do you want another one? I'll make a motion that we move forward with writing up an interim use ordinance to put a moratorium on solar and wind at this time, and unless you want everything, Amy, but at least them at this time.
That's all we
steps forward.
have now.
And,
Then the other would be for whether or not for it to apply to pending applications.
well, I mean, is there a possible way that those that are pending right now, and then we say after today's date, we will not be accepting? Or, I know that's in the future to read something in the past, but what is, I guess, maybe what is the process of an application? Just a piece of paper? Or
Yes.
is it in depth?
Well, we have standards in the ordinance now that, of what the required submittals are. So if someone came and brought in an application that was complete, regardless of if they'd interacted with us or not before, we would certainly have to review it for completeness. And then if it's complete, then we would generally put it on an agenda.
Okay, so a complete application, is that comprehensive? I mean, does that take a lot of work for the individual to do?
I would say yes.
Well, I mean, can we have it say a complete, those who have complete applications, or, I mean, how
Yeah.
else do we do it? We either do
Yes.
it or we don't do it.
Well,
But I think it's not fair for those that already got their application in at this time.
If I may, but that.
Commissioner Winter.
If there's an application, they haven't paid for nothing yet here, have they? Or they said, here's my money to go in front of the planning commission, have they paid for that yet?
That's part of a complete application is
So that
payment of the
so that-
fees,
that would make this application not complete.
if the fees had not been paid.
So has the fees been paid?
Yes.
So they have been paid to, see, again, it's a tough decision, gentlemen. We're making
I'm
a
just-
decision on a possible applications that we might allow in, and then we're gonna change it because of the interim comprehensive plan.
They would still, Mr. Chair, Commissioner Winter, they're gonna follow our current ordinances. We're not gonna change the ordinances on them.
No,
No, I understand that, but the ordinances could be changed in 2 or 3 months.
Yeah.
And then we give them something, voted, yes, and then all of a sudden, if they would've came in later, would've been, could be a no, I don't know.
So, maybe to help you, I guess, if we were going to consider any current applications or any applications that would come in prior to us passing an interim use ordinance or a moratorium, then I think the question has to be asked, how comfortable are we with the language that we have in ordinance now? And how complete is that in addressing some of the concerns that were raised in the past that asked us to look at these ordinances in the first place, such as decommissioning or personal property rights or setbacks or all of those things. So, I want us to make sure we all understand. I'm not trying to direct this, but to make sure you understand that things that would be considered while we're in process could be things that then become in conflict with what may be changed in the future, or may not, but may be allowed in through that window of time. So I think I think we have to look at so how comfortable are you with what we have in ordinance right now, that you would consider an application. And I guess the question I guess I would have to ask then, if we're that comfortable with what we have in ordinance right now that we would consider an application, then why are we here now discussing further look at this? So, that's my thought. Gentlemen, we get to where we want to go when we talk about these things, so your thoughts, Commissioner Lemire?
I still, if there's somebody that has their application, then I still support them moving forward. I just think that's not the way we do business. We don't give them something and then, or give them an opportunity to do something and take it away. That's just my 2 cents. And I'm for moving forward with changing our ordinances. Not necessarily changing, but approving upon. I don't know.
And I appreciate your perspective and
One other thing onto that.
certainly.
I gotta believe that the application process isn't something that they can just whip up in a week. I mean, I'm sure it's gotta be comprehensive. It's gotta, I mean, it's gotta be, not, or is it
No,
not?
it is. It's comprehensive.
Yeah, it's not like we permit to go put a shed in your yard, you know, or we're gonna increase the setback or something, but, and you know, maybe some of the stuff we're not gonna change much of. I mean, you look at the height restrictions, you look at the setbacks, we're similar to a lot of the other counties. It's just, I don't know, and, I don't know, that's just my 2 cents, and that's, I would support whoever has their permit in, or their application in right now to continue moving forward.
Okay, Commissioner
But-
Casper.
And, can I add one more thing?
You certainly
I
can.
also like the comp plan, goal A1, objective 4, really dissected and changed to prioritize agricultural land for agriculture. Thank you.
So, and so that would kind of align with number 3
Yes.
in that screen.
Mr. Chair, I would say though, if we're gonna review the comp plan, we're gonna review the entire comp plan as far as the goals and objectives, not just zero in on one. It's due for review,
Yeah.
and so definitely would be dialing in on that, but we'd be looking at everything else as well for goals and objectives, and then updating the information in the comp plan.
Okay,
Mr. Chair.
Commissioner Mayor.
Does that require a public hearing or comp plan?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chair.
Yep, and so, just a reminder too, so when we make these changes to land use ordinances, you know, or the comp plan, those are those guardrails or guidance posts for the residents of Morrison County, for all those people, property owners, on what we can do and how that is respected by the rest of the community out there. So we don't have the authority to take that action on our own, and that always requires public input through a public hearing. Commissioner Casper.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And I would agree with Commissioner Lemire that the line in the sand can be drawn today. Any applications that came in ahead of this, we can't slip the rug out from underneath their feet. They should be allowed to move forward. And thereby, we take a close look at that comprehensive plan, go through it, or have you go through it, and then, present it to the commissioners and have the public hearing. Seems reasonable.
Mr. Chair,
Mr.
for
LeBlanc.
interrupting the good
No,
discussion.
you're going to help us here right now.
So I think we have a partial motion on the table. So
Remember anymore.
I'm going to offer something back. The Commissioner Lemire made a motion to initiate a review of the Morrison County Comprehensive Plan and the process to establish an interim ordinance effectively implementing a moratorium on wind and solar while allowing any complete application that has been submitted as of 2/10/26 to continue the permitting process.
Couldn't have said any better. I like it.
And Mr. Chair, I'll.
That will be my motion.
So before well, we can motion and discuss, however, we just have to keep in mind, by summary, this will end up going to this application now that we brought up, that is in process. It's gonna go in front of the planning commission eventually,
Correct.
okay? They can recommend it to the board or
It
not
doesn't
to the
mean it's
board.
gonna be approved.
True, but now, if it doesn't get if it does get turned down, and again, going back to Commissioner Casper, are we making more headaches here because, oh, you guys were going back and forth and we may have influenced the planning commission because we are gonna change it? I just think this is gonna could be a challenge. So my thinking is, let's just go move forward, and if we can give them their money back and they can start their however, I don't know how that works, so that's my thinking. I'm good again.
No, and we're fine. Amy, with the language that has been offered as in a motion by Commissioner Lemire that was read by Mr. LeBlanc, does that give you a clear enough scope of work?
Yes.
Okay. Gentlemen, we have a motion before consideration. We have to have a second.
I can second that.
So we have a motion by Commissioner Lemire. We have a second by Commissioner Casper. I'm going to open it up for more discussion.
Mr. Chair, I just got one.
Commissioner Moran, thank
One
you.
thing to point out here too, I know Randy asked that they would have to come to the planning commission, the board of adjustments. And for instance, this is one out of our solar right now. The board may require the posting of a bond, letter of credit, or the establishment of an escrow account to ensure property decommissioning. The board may require. So that is putting it on us. We need to get rid of that kind of language, I think, and definitely define.
Yes, and that is what has been one of the biggest issues in past applications. So that's been the stumbling block. Yes.
Further discussion? Further discussion? Further discussion? Seeing no further discussion, gentlemen, this will be a roll call. Commissioner Moran,
Aye.
Commissioner Wincher,
Nay.
Commissioner Casper,
Aye.
Commissioner Lemire.
Aye.
The chairman votes aye, the vote being 4 in favor and 1 against. The motion prevails. We have a scope of work for our Land Services
All right.
Director.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
You're welcome.
Do we need a motion for the comp plan, opening that up too?
That was a part of
Is that
the,
in there?
yes, that was a part of the motion.
Okay.
All right.
Do you have anything else for
I
us?
do. I have one more
Thank you.
item. We need to set the date for the 2026 County Special Board of Appeal and Equalization. My suggestion, based on when we can hold it by law, the first date that would be available would be Tuesday, June 16th at 5 PM. If that doesn't work, we can look at other dates.
What time would it be, 5 PM?
5 PM.
Here at the board.
Yes.
June 16th.
That's correct.
1700.
Tuesday, June 16th.
Knew something was wrong. Knew something was wrong. I picked up the wrong glasses. Tuesday, June 16th at 5.
5 PM. Does that work?
It works for me, but gentlemen, anybody have a conflict with that?
All right.
Let's go with that.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you.
Need a motion?
Thanks, Amy.
Yes.
I'll make a motion to approve Tuesday, June 16th, 5 PM, Board of Appeal and Equalization.
We have a motion by
Second.
Commissioner Moran, second by Commissioner Lemire 5 PM, June 16th, Board of Appeal and Equalization. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed. That is our date.
All right, thank you, Mr. Chair, that's all I have.
Thank you, Amy.
Thank you.
Now you got your work cut out.
Yeah, just a few more things to do.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Gentlemen, next on our agenda, Health and Human Services. Mr. Bertram.
Good morning, Mr. Chair, Board of Commissioners.
Good morning, Nate.
Nate Bertram, Health and Human Services Director. So this morning, we're here to discuss our cannabis ordinance. And we discussed it last meeting in January about there needing to be some changes to our events part of our ordinance, which is Section 4, temporary cannabis events. Most of those edits are due to when we drafted this ordinance, the state not having their process fully established at that time. And so us requiring them to produce a license in order to get a permit is opposite of what the state has, and so we're working on putting that in line with that. So again, 413 we added, which is license issued by the state of Minnesota from the Office of Cannabis Management is required prior to holding a cannabis event. Additionally, in 421, towards the bottom there, applicant shall include with the form. So prior, we had it where they had to actually present a copy of their cannabis license before we would look at permit. That language in number 2 there is essentially rewritten to make them include anything that they would send into the state with the Office of to the Office of Cannabis Management for that license. Number 3 was taken out. I think scroll down a little bit there. 423. I'm up just a hair. So there was a 3 there that was taken out. That was that evidence of all the retail vendors and are licensed with the state of Minnesota. That was taken out because the state does that in their official licensing of the cannabis management, so it was duplicative. And then if we jump down to 423, number 7 there was added. And that was that the copy of the license issued by the state of Minnesota from Office of Cannabis shall be sent to the local jurisdiction within at least 72 hours of the event. And then number 7 there, where if there's any changes to the vendor list at a cannabis event, those 2 would be sent to us 72 hours before the event. That's required for the state license. And so we included it in our ordinance. That way we get that vendor list as well, not just the state. And those were the changes that were made. And I believe we had public comment scheduled for 10 this morning, and I guess we'd.
Right, so Mr. Chair?
Mr. LeBlanc.
So today is this public hearing to get public input on these changes to the ordinance. And one of the cleanest ways would be to take a recess formally from the regular board meeting, open up a public meeting, which you would ask for public comment, and then we'd close that and come back into regular board meeting.
And so, gentlemen, if you understand what we're doing here, can I get a motion to recess from our regular board meeting to go into a public hearing?
I'll make a motion, Mr. Chair.
So we have a motion by Commissioner Lemire, a second by Commissioner Casper to recess our board meeting here at 10:24 and go directly into public hearing. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed. Gentlemen, we are recessed from our regular board meeting, and we are now in a public hearing. And I believe it would be in order to ask for public input at this point in time to the changes of our ordinances, the changes to our ordinances in regards to cannabis management. So I need to, by law, read that the main purpose of this meeting is to obtain citizen input on this matter. And we need to make sure we give the opportunity for anyone from the public to comment that wishes to do so. So the rules being that if there is anyone that wishes to speak, they should raise their hand, they would be recognized, and come to the microphone and express their wishes. I will ask for public comment 3 times and give each individual 3 minutes to speak on that. If there's no one here to speak on this, we would then close the public hearing and go back to our regular board meeting. So, everyone understand? At this point in time, I will ask for the first time, is there any public input to this matter? I will ask second time, is there any public input to these ordinances? And I will ask a third time and final time, is there anyone wishing to speak to these ordinances?
Mr. Chair?
Mr. LeBlanc.
I'd like to add that I received no email or telephonic or any other sort of correspondence regarding this from the public, and I don't know if Nate did.
Thank you for that. Gentlemen, seeing and/or receiving no public comment on this, I would ask to move to close public comment on this issue, and that we go and we would return back to our regular board meeting.
I can make that motion to close.
We have a motion by Commissioner Casper, a second by Commissioner Moran. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, gentlemen, the motion prevails, and we are back to our regular board meeting. Mr. Bertram.
Mr. Chair, I believe if the board is accepting of these changes, then the next thing would be to approve the ordinance as written.
Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion to approve the ordinances as presented to us.
Commissioner Lemire makes a motion.
I can second it.
We have a second by Commissioner Casper. Discussion.
I would just say, Mr. Chair,
Commissioner Casper.
I would just say thank you, Nate, for your work on this. I know it's been tedious and long. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
There's a woodpecker in here.
Any further discussion? Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? Nathan, I hope that helps you in this.
Thanks for getting that fixed. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Gentlemen, it's 10:30. Let's take 5,
Okay.
7. Let's come back at 10:35.
Oh, okay.
Should we come back? All right, so I'll call us back to order here now, and gentlemen, next on the agenda, Public Works, Tony, good morning, thank you for your patience with us.
Good morning, Mr. Chair. Good morning, Commissioners. Good morning. Got one item for you this morning. We're going to talk a little bit about our Belle Prairie Park River Access Project, and we'll be requesting authorization to keep moving forward. So a little bit about the park. Belle Prairie Parks, located in Belle Prairie Township, just north of Little Falls here, just shy of 140 acres. County acquired this property in the 70s, between 72 and 75. Wonderful regional park here in central Minnesota. Obviously, the county's had for a long time, has done a lot of things with it. In 2019, the board approved a Belle Prairie strategic plan or a master plan for that park. And that's where the project that we're talking about today came out of. So pretty neat asset. There's a lot of walking trails out there, picnic shelter, playgrounds, disc golf, scenic river views, and a boat landing. And those last two items are what we're going to be enhancing with this project. So if you take a look there, we have our work area A and our work area B. I'll have you keep going, Matt. So a little bit about this project. We're doing a ADA compliant river access project there in work area A. And what this is, it'll be a giant walkable path down to the river with a nice platform down there that people can either hang out on and view the river or fish from. If you keep going, Matt, we'll be able to see the park. This is our final plan set here, and it's going to be quite the amenity, and definitely going to be wonderful for our community, especially from an ADA standpoint. You know, Morrison County being located next to Camp Ripley, we have an increased amount of veterans in our community, which in turn often results in more disabilities. And outside of that, we also have a pretty robust senior population in Morrison County. So to be able to offer ADA compliant access to the river is going to be pretty neat. So you look at that, you can kind of see the area, the gray area there, that's our existing road. The darker gray is where we'll be working a little bit. So we'll be adding some parking spaces. So that's kind of to the northeast. Part of that will be ADA compliant parking. And then just north of that, we're going to be adding a little picnic area with a shelter and then vault toilets. So if you've been out to the park, we have a lot of porta potties out there, and we had some dilapidated vault toilets that we took down here in 2025. And this will be a massive upgrade to that. As we get closer to the river, there's 3 different stairways that access the river currently. All of them are in really poor shape, and 2 of them here are getting addressed with this portion. So the old timber ones that we mainly have roped off are going away, so getting rid of that hazard, and we're making some really nice concrete stairs. And then we're adding that ADA path. So it looks like a switchback design. That's part of ADA standards, so less than 5% slope. So if you had to wheel someone down there, you're not going to roll all the way down the hill, at least at a really fast clip. So no Olympic bobsledding with this section of it. But yeah, so it'll be wonderful. And then you go down and you have the platform there. Matt kind of had his fingers on that right there. Yep. If you go over our next page here. This is the second portion of the project. This is in conjunction with the DNR. So this is the boat landing that's there. So if you look on kind of the northern part there, we're replacing that stairway with a new one. Again, that's another stairway that we have roped off, huge hazard, so that's going away. There's some erosion issues there that we'll be addressing. So they'll get a new concrete stairway and then restabilize that slope. And then if you go and look at the river access now, it's straight into the river, and the way that current flows, it makes it really hard to land a boat. Those concrete ramps there are getting a little bit older and time to replace, so the DNR will be helping us out. They're providing the ramps for the new landing and some of that nature. So we'll be turning it, angling it a little bit, and then armoring for erosion control. So it'll be easier all said and done for when you land your boat or back that boat into the river. So we'll keep going a little bit. Here's some actual there's your vault toilet. So this is going to be very similar to what we have over at the Sioux Line Trail access point right off 10. So really nice structures. They'll be easy to use and very friendly to the public, and also ADA compliant, which will be a really nice improvement. Let's go over our next page there, Matt. So here's kind of the renderings when it's all said and done. The engineer and the architect on this, we selected Widseth in 2024, and they've been working through the project. So they'll be establishing vegetation with native plants and trees outside of what's already existing. So if you think about the Belle Prairie Park behind that, we have a massive oak savanna and then a lot of pine. And then these are all native bushes and vegetation that'll help stabilize our slopes after the construction's complete, and then obviously hide and keep the natural aesthetics of the riverfront. If you go to the next page. There you can see one of our landings there, so your stairwell coming down, so you'll have, this would be to the northern part of that. And then you can see kind of the river, or the ramp going down. But so that's the northern access. You'll be able to access the north portion of the ramps where that existing stairwell is now, out to the river. If you keep going here, there's another view. So that'll be your fishing pier, benches down there, and that's on the southern port of that. So you have your secondary staircase there, and then that really nice landing. Pending where the water is, this is drawn with ordinary high water, so the river or the water will be pretty close to the landing. But like we were looking at this summer, a little bit of drought conditions, that water is further down, so then you'll just be able to walk onto the riverbank to access further out if you wanted to fish or something like that. Go to our next one. They have kind of a fall shot. It's kind of what it'll look like. But yeah, it's going to be a wonderful amenity to our community. Really exciting project. So our environmental recreation manager, Drew Hatzenbuehler, he's one of the ones that capitalized on this grant. So this grant came from the Greater Minnesota Regional Parks and Trail Commission. Drew applied for it in 2023, and we were selected. So the board's commitment to this park through your strategic or master plan in the late 2000s, Drew was able to take some of those ideas that came from that plan, apply for a grant, and then bring in these external dollars. So these grant dollars are massive for the community. Drew received $924,516 for this project, and then we'll have our county match of just over $100,000 onto it. So you're talking almost a $1.1 million improvement to our park. It's pretty neat, and obviously very exciting. So we just recently wrapped up these final designs, and we're getting ready to advertise and bid this project out. That's part of the reason I'm here this morning. I'm looking for authorization from the board to move forward. If you're to grant moving forward with this project, we'll be shooting for a March, or let's see here, mid-March, mid to late March bid letting, and then we'd be proceeding with potentially awarding that project as long as the numbers came in appropriately in late March, April for 26 construction, and hopefully have this open to the public this fall pending water conditions.
Fantastic.
I'll make a motion to approve, to move forward with the bid letting on for Belle Prairie Park.
We have a motion by Commissioner Wincher, a second by Commissioner Moran. Further discussion?
I convey our thanks to Drew for the hard work he got on getting that. This is gonna be so nice.
Absolutely.
Those steps have been dangerous for many years, and this would be so nice. Bring people to our community even. Thank you.
It's an exciting project. Thank you, Commissioner Lemire. Further discussion? Further discussion?
I think we should have a meeting out there when it's complete.
I think, and then we'll stay and have barbecue, so let's do that. That'd be awesome. Any further discussion? Seeing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, motion prevails. Tony?
Mr. Chair, that's all I had unless there's any questions from you or the rest of the commissioners.
Gentlemen, anything else for our engineer?
Thank you, Tony.
Thank you,
Tony,
everybody.
have a great day.
Yep.
Keep up the good work.
Gentlemen, I look to our administrator, Mr. LeBlanc.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. One item here to discuss that's in part of your board packet. It says set public hearing date for firearm use for deer hunting. However, I'm a little bit ahead of myself, so let me take us back just for a second here and frame this properly. Minnesota state law changed last year, effective 1 January this year, to repeal shotgun zones across the state. And what that means for us as a county is, and this is for deer hunting, if no action is taken, the county then would have rifle across, or allow for rifle across all of Morrison County. However, if the county wants to implement local ordinance on this, the county has the authority to retain the shotgun-only area. So when I refer to that, I have a map here. This shows Morrison County there in the center of the map, highlights the commissioner districts, and you're all familiar with your district, but primarily what we're speaking about today is District 5, the southwestern portion of the county. And then you see that sort of highlighted yellow line that goes through there. That's the shotgun rifle zone delineator there that was in place up until this year. What I asked our GIS operator to do was to expand this look and see how it affects neighboring counties. And so you can see that as it relates to shotgun or rifle hunting in Morrison County, we've got Todd in a similar situation, and also Stearns County. At this moment, Todd County has actually taken action to make it a rifle county and did not implement any local ordinance restricting firearm use. So, however, by that law change, the county's not required to take action, if I haven't said that. If the county takes no action, the entire county of Morrison would be rifle, but you do have the opportunity to take action. So if I take this view and I zoom in one more level, this just gives a little closer look at the affected areas within Morrison County. So again, a little bit of a highlighted yellow line. So southwestern portion of the county, that last year was shotgun slug and is now eligible for rifle. So today, I'm asking if the board would either take no action and allow for rifle use throughout Morrison County, or to initiate the process for a public hearing. And I laid it out here, so this is just a proposal. So again, January 1st, statewide shotgun zone was repealed. County board can take action in bullet 2. Beginning January 1st, counties may adopt ordinance that restricts certain firearm for deer hunting. The DNR will not enforce any further restrictions than what were already in place. So can't get down to caliber or, certainly not make model. So shotgun slug would be what's at the county's options to consider. May 1st, the DNR is asking for us to let them know what the position of the county is. That way they can update their regulations book and their website for the upcoming deer hunting. So that's sort of our timeline. On the right side, hunters will not be automatically notified. So when they purchase their permit to hunt, they will not be notified on what type of firearm is legal for that area. It would be on them to know that. Only eligible shotgun area is the area that was previously shotgun, and the DNR will enforce whatever the county puts in place along with local law enforcement. I did meet with our sheriff, didn't have a strong position on this either way from a law enforcement side of things, and I also asked the county attorney if he had commented, and he did not. So what I laid out is a path. So January 1st is the law change. February 10th is today. So if the board does want to set a public hearing, I would need a 10-day notice period in order to have one. So I would propose March 10th. That gives me far more than 10 days to make sure that we properly notice it. I would look for direction on if you want that AM or PM. That is a date when we typically meet, but I'd like to know if you want it in the morning or evening. And then I also built us in some space there before May 1st through March and April if there was much discussion and you wanted to have a second public hearing. So I wanted to build in options for the county board. So, and then first would be, do you want to set a public hearing for consideration of adopting a local ordinance? And if so, does March 10th work for you in AM or PM?
Wishes of the board.
Time on March 10th, if we do it, it'll be morning or afternoon, Mr. Chair, do we?
Gentlemen, I'll just say as taking my board chair hat off, I would like to have that public hearing during our board meeting that morning, much like we had, we took time to have a public hearing this morning on the cannabis issue, whenever, and I think it's important, I think it's important that if we are going to make a change, or look at change to ordinance or rule of law within Morrison County, that we are respectful and take public input on that. That's my thoughts on that. I go back to you, wishes. Commissioner Wincher?
I'm good if we have it in the morning. Again, I agree with you wholeheartedly that let's see what the public has to say out there rather than have the board make that decision. Let's see what input we get.
Before, the board will have to make that decision, but I believe we should take public
But
input.
if we don't have to do anything either. We can just sit here and then that's, the thing is, I wish the wording, I had somebody call me and say, well, I don't wanna lose my shotgun. What, you'll go hunt out there with shotgun? Well, a rifle is above and beyond. You can still hunt with shotgun. I just wanna clarify that. It's just that you can't hunt with rifle now in that area, so we're not taking, or the DNR is not taking the shotgun away. They would just be able to hunt with a rifle or a shotgun.
Very good, thank you. Commissioner Lemare?
I'm 100% certain I'm gonna support it going to rifle, but being that it's 100% in your district, Commissioner Blaine, I will support your decision to have this public hearing. But I think if we really want to have the ability to hear what the constituents say, I think we should have it at night. I really do. Because I've gotten more phone calls on this than anything. And I think that then you can get, I mean, it's all your constituents, so then you can get a better grasp of what your constituents want.
You make a tremendous point, and you show far greater wisdom than I do. I was looking at from a somewhat of a convenience and a
Yeah, it
selfish
is,
point.
but-
From our point of view, that's not correct, and thank you for pointing that out to me. You're correct. I do not know if we have if that would be a part of, and it doesn't need to be a part of a planning commission meeting or anything like that.
I don't believe we have one that evening.
And so let's do that. I would support that idea. And thank you for mentioning
I just
that
want
to
you
me.
and your people.
Yep, and you're right, and I've received more, myself have received more comment on this issue than probably any other public issue, even more so than cannabis, believe it or not. And so I think it is right that we take public input on this before we make a decision.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
So, further comments
We
on?
do a time 6 o'clock on is that a Tuesday, March 10th?
March 10th is a Tuesday, it's a board meeting day.
No planning PC?
No, so there's no PC bill on that day typically.
Mr. Chair?
Mr. LeBlanc?
And I just pulled this up and since I put this together, but on the 10th, looks like the Extension Office has scheduled the boardroom at 6:30. So if you would accommodate a 5 o'clock start time, otherwise, or I could tell Extension, I'll have to move them out of here. But if we start at 6, there's a good chance we'd run into their meeting. So if you'd like me to push Extension out, then we could keep a 6 o'clock.
You on that extension?
But we haven't, the extension committee is,
Unless it's something totally different.
4-H project night.
Oh, yeah, so that wouldn't include us, Mr. Chair.
so would it be possible to move the 4-Hers to, let's say, the Royalton Room or?
I'll work on that.
Or does it have to be on a Tuesday night? Can it be on a Wednesday, Thursday?
Yeah, I just need 10 days, so I
I
had thrown.
like that, I like that date. I like that Tuesday myself, but
I'll work with 4-H, Mr. Chair.
So we shoot for 1800?
yes, so, well, it's up to you guys.
I like it. I wouldn't
So-
go earlier than that.
So we don't need a motion or anything, we just need agreement, 6 o'clock, March 10th, public hearing.
Tabitha, are you gonna send us an invite for that, please? Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner Lemire, and thank you so for steering me correctly.
So I have a question, Mr. Chair.
Mr. LeBlanc?
Sorry.
No,
I
excellent.
just got a text message that said that might be township election night.
Ooh, that we don't want to do then.
It is, okay, so it's confirmed that's township election night,
How
so,
about the 8th, or excuse me, no, the 9th, we have extension. Commissioner,
Could we push it out to the 17th and do it at 5 o'clock before the
Or the
PC?
11th?
now we're down to input. Why do we have, Thursday night, the
11th?
12th?
12th
Yeah, the 12th, the Thursday night?
or 11th, 13th?
I'm fine with, I'm fine with the 12th. Commissioner Moran?
It looks good for me.
12th?
12th.
Okay,
So now we're, so 6 PM, March 12th.
Wear your, blaze orange.
Yeah. Leave your guns at home.
Leave your guns in the car.
6 PM public hearing.
okay. Uh-oh,
That's me.
Shotgun zone.
so 6
Anything,
PM, March
anything.
12th. All right, thank you, Mr. Chair, thank you, gentlemen. So the information I presented to you today, is there any different information you'd like for that evening? Okay. And if something comes up between now and then just let me know, and
Mr. Chair, just to be clear, if we decide to not do anything, we just don't do anything. And it'll convert into rifle only, or rifle zone,
that's right. And
rifle also zone.
And also, the board, and I would say, the way I read it from the DNR, next year the county could take action on it. Or if this year you implemented a shotgun, if you kept it how it was, you could lift it in a year or two. So this is all, it could be considered at any time, but,
If we give them, so what you're saying, if.
We could try it on for size for a
they don't
year.
like it, we can bring it back to shotgun only.
Right.
Interesting.
Wasn't aware of that.
Nope.
okay. That's all I had, Mr. Chair.
So, to that point, gentlemen, I'll ask you to correspond the same way I'm going to any residents who may have contacted you about this. If
Just
you-
your district, that's it.
Yeah, but I know there are residents in your districts who've contacted me, and I'm sure have contacted you on this issue. Not saying you have to do this, but I'll ask you to take my lead. I kept those inquiries to me, all those names and phone numbers and email addresses, and I'm going to be sending them correspondence back that we've set that date, so that they can come and be heard.
Good.
Very thoughtful.
And so we want to do it. When we have a public hearing, we want the public to come and be a part of, be a
I
part of
just
the
had a couple
process.
wanna know if they could hunt on your land, that's all I wanna know.
And with that, I will look to our Assistant Chief Clerk here to say, we have to do our schedules, and we're looking at the dates that include
February 15th through February 28th.
15th?
To when?
The 28th.
last half of the month, gentlemen. Commissioner Moran hits lead off tonight. Today.
Tuesday, the 17th, 8:30 in the morning, a planning session here. And then 6 o'clock that evening, the planning committee and Board of Adjustments. Wednesday, the 18th, I have a 5 o'clock virtual with Hands of Hope. Tuesday, the 24th, board meeting here at 9 o'clock in the morning. And then Thursday, the 26th, I have a 5:30 TCC. That'll do it.
Thank you, Commissioner Moran. Commissioner Wincher.
Okay, so, we have a PC tonight, right? PC BOA, just wanna verify that, I believe. I don't know. Don't we?
Nope,
No.
That down.
17th.
17, oh, okay, all right, good, I'm glad we missed that one. All right, moving forward, you got the board, I have a, soil and water on the 27th. I'm sure they might move that back, but right now SWCD at 8 o'clock, excuse me, on the 27th, otherwise that covers me.
Commissioner Lemire.
Okey dokey. 23rd, Bobby, is that when that nuclear, that's our forum. At Rosenmeyer Forum, there'll be a nuclear energy forum?
Yep.
That's, what time?
6:30.
6:30?
6:30 at Central Lakes College.
24th, 25th, I have HRA meeting, 9 o'clock. And I got Public Health Advisory Committee at 5 o'clock PM. That's all I got, Mr. Chair. And don't forget, the 14th is Valentine's Day. Get your loved one some candy and some flowers.
Thank you, you may have saved our lives.
Yeah. Thank you. You're welcome, Randy. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Commissioner Casper.
Okay, I just have a couple of things, would be Wednesday, the 18th, February 18th. Swift Energy is gonna be over at the Hillman Legion at 6 o'clock in the evening. And then, that same evening, I'm sorry,
Excuse me, that's the 18th
that's right.
on Ash Wednesday.
Okay, yeah, it is. Yes, it is. And then also on February 23rd, that same night as the nuke meeting, pipeline safety, I've got lined up at the VFW in Little Falls here at 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
And then on the 27th, Mississippi Headwater Board at 9 o'clock up in Walker, Minnesota. That's all, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner Casper. You're welcome. Tabitha, Egg Society would meet on the 19th at 7 PM here. And the following Thursday, the 26th, Region 5. That's all I have so far.
Mr. Chair,
Mr. LeBlanc.
just a reminder that the Government Center will be closed for regular business on the 16th in honor of President's Day.
That's right.
And on the 25th, the county will be celebrating its 170th birthday. So we won't be doing anything here, but if you find some place that has a cake, you have a reason to eat it.
I like your attitude.
Anything else, gentlemen?
I'm good, Mr. Chair.
I appreciate your patience with me this morning.
Good job, Mr. Chair.
We covered, no, good job by all of you, and I thank you for coming prepared for a number of issues here this morning. Seeing no further business before us, we are adjourned at 11:07.